Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I have the DJI Mini 2 SE, or in my case, named after my friend DeMarco, the DeMarco Mini 2 SE. And we just had a firmware update for this little drone. Let me look at that number for you real quick. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm looking at my iPhone. It is version number 01.00.0410, and the only explanation is it states that dreaded fixed some known issues. Well, we don't know what those known issues are, so there's only one way to find out. Let's get this drone up in the air and let's just take it on a little flyabout and see how it does. I'm at Julius Kleiner Park, and it's a warm day. In fact, this is January 31st, and it's supposed to get up to 60 degrees today, which would be a record for this day. You can imagine in January in Idaho, 60 degrees. But in any case, it's also a windy day, so 11 miles sustained, 22-mile-an-hour gusts, but that's okay. This drone can handle that. And this is going to be a fairly short flight. We're just going to take it up on a little flyabout and see if we notice anything. We also had that recent update to the Fly app, so we'll look at some of that as well while we're at it. But in any case, let's quit messing around. Let's get this drone in the air. Okay, so we've got the Fly app going here. Let me go back into, and by the way, I use this battery to do the update. That's why it's only at 96%. But let's go onto the main page here because we want to look at some of the additions to the Fly app here. The before you fly, and again, I've said this before, but I want to reiterate it. This before you fly on the Fly app is not the same thing as the FAA's before you fly app. So this is just something that DJI put in here to tell you where you can fly it. And I keep learning more and more about it. It confused me at first. The first time I saw this, it came up with a map for Beijing. Well, what you have to do is over on the left-hand side, click on that crosshair, and you can see it's zeroed in on where I'm at. Had I read the instructions, I would have got it right. But in any case, so you can see where I'm at. I'm going to just kind of tap on my general area here. And so it's going to tell us, well, it says info not available there, but it does tell us the geozone. So it says we got a 500-meter geozone. Let's click on that. And it tells you how to unlock. So, not a whole lot of information. And by the way, these things that DJI is talking about here, it's not what the FAA says. This is DJI's own little warnings about how high you should be. Now, 500 meters, as you know, we're not allowed to fly over 120 meters anyway. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. I'm not exactly sure why they do it. But anyway, just wanted to show you that. That's how that before you fly works. The before you fly part of the Fly app, not the before you fly app from the FAA. However, I just wanted to show that to you. You can also say it gives us a warning zone. Well, I don't know. This is Class G airspace where we're at, so take that for what it's worth, but it's there if you need it. Now, let's go ahead and click on Go Fly. And by golly, I'll tell you what, you can see the blades of grass in front of the drone. It's windy. Let's see, it says 25, we want to go to 30 frames per second. And let's go ahead and, well, I'm not going to start recording yet. I meant to look at the safety menu. So after I did the update, I dropped the return to home altitude down to 35 meters. Once you do an update on a DJI drone, it defaults to 100 meters on return to home altitude. Again, use your judgment by how high you think the drone needs to be on its way back. This drone doesn't have any optimal return to home or any kind of obstacle avoidance, so you need to make sure it's high enough that it's going to miss everything. The drone is not asking for any calibrations, and our battery obviously looks like it's in good shape there. So, I want to show you the About page so you can see the firmware numbers. You can see the RC firmware, the app number, that 1.12.8, and the aircraft firmware. And I did update the FlySafe database here too. You can see those numbers there as well. And that, again, that FlySafe database is DJI's own database for how they, you know, where they think you should be flying at or not. It has nothing to do with, well, it doesn't have a lot to do with with controlled airspace that the FAA tells you where and where you cannot fly. So just take that for what it's worth. Let's go ahead and start recording, and no reason not to take off here. I don't see any differences in the app at all. We'll look at that a little bit more once we take off. And boy, as soon as I get ready to take off, a big gust of wind came up, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. Normal mode. So it's also given us this flight safety tip. So we're going to be in normal mode. Let's take off. And the little drone is going to take off into a big gust of wind, and it's getting blown away. I'm taking it way up because let me tell you what, it was blowing. It was a good thing I was ready for that, because it blew it sideways like you can't believe. So let's bring it back. I'm trying to bring it back. Yeah, let me tell you what, that gust of wind was something. I very nearly had disaster there, because it was going right towards a tree. So I'm a little nervous here now to have it down very low, but let's see if we can bring it in here and not get blown away. I think on takeoff there, you know, it just didn't quite have its position held. Wind has calmed down here a little bit, so I'm not going to bring it in too close. You can see the drone. It's fairly, you know, it's kind of tilted into the wind there. And yeah, I forgot we got this altitude zone nearby on my screen. I was looking at the drone, not my FPV feed. But in any case, let's go ahead and do our droning now. Reverse and up now. Reverse and up. And boy, the drone is really getting blown around. In fact, it just blew my hat off. This might not be the best idea. The drone is really getting blown around up there. I mean, it blew it sideways there. Watch it happen. Shoot, I can barely hang onto my hat. I took my hat off here because I can't keep my hat on my head. Yeah, this might be a challenge. This might be more of a challenge than I thought. Interestingly enough, I'm not getting any wind warnings. You can see where I'm at there underneath the picnic shelter, and so anyway, let's go ahead and let's keep going here. But boy, I'll tell you what, I have never seen this drone blown around like I did there just the last few minutes. But interestingly enough, no wind warning, and so I'm hands off the stick, and you're seeing the drone getting blown around a little bit. Yeah, kind of interesting. I'm trying to go into the wind now. Yeah, now we're getting a wind warning. There you go. Okay, let's bring her down and bring her back in. So this may be a very short flight here. We probably have too much wind here to do this. I'm going to leave the drone up there for a second here, and I want to go through the, see if we see anything new in the app here. So we already looked at the safety menu. I don't see anything new there. Control menu, the only thing that you can look at there is the difference between the display. In other words, we're in large text right now. If I go to standard, you'll see the text size smaller. There's standard. Let's go back into larger text, and that was part of that last firmware update. But I don't see anything new there at all. Let's go into the camera menu. I don't see anything new in the camera menu. So whatever they did, it is not, it certainly hasn't affected anything that I can find in the menus. So if anybody else sees something else, it just said fix known issues. I'm going to try and put my cap back on here because the wind calmed down a little bit. Let's go ahead and back the drone up. I think things kind of settled down a little bit here. See if I can get it out. I'm going to turn it around here, and we'll fly it out over the pond. You can see there's still, well, boy, I'll tell you what, the drone is really, yeah, it's really getting blown around. Yeah, I'm getting strong wind warning. I'm bringing her back here, folks. It is not, we are not in a good spot right now. We're getting some, I've never seen the drone get blown around like that before. Okay, let's back it up a little. Okay, I got some people here, so I'm going to stand up and bring this guy in very carefully because there's some kids here, and we want to make sure we're clear of them. So, hopefully you'll be able to see it on the screen, but it was getting blown around so bad that I was not comfortable having it up there anymore. So let's just bring it in here. Let's get it over the pad, a little bit over the pad. Okay, straight down on the stick right now. Well, we're kind of on the pad. Well, that was an interesting flight. It didn't handle the wind. We finally started getting some wind warnings there, but I've never seen this drone quite frankly, get blown around like that. Let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Okay, we safely got the drone back on the ground. So that was that was a pretty interesting flight. I have never seen this drone blown around like that before, or any of my mini drones for that matter. Well, I'll take that back. There was one other instance. However, it said 22-mile-an-hour wind gusts on UAV forecasts, and I knew it was windy, but boy, it clearly was more than that up, when we were up at altitude, because I mean, I had my hands off the stick and I just saw it going sideways and flew it back to us. So, and then even bringing it in, and fortunately when I brought it in to land there, it kind of calmed down, so I was able to get it on the ground. But I got to be honest with you, I was a little nervous about that as well. In any case, as far as the firmware update, I didn't see anything that, what changes. So it fixed known issues, whatever those known issues are. I didn't see anything particular that was new or different. But yeah, just holding it up here. I was watching the props spin around, just holding it up because the wind is blowing. It's really starting to gust now. But in any case, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I so appreciate you taking the time to look at this video, and I'm holding on to my hat to keep it from blowing away. We absolutely will see you on the next one. The little DJI DeMarco Mini 2 SE. See you guys later. I'm going to pack all this stuff up. See ya.